What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Avarice podcast. Today we're going to continue our companion / commentary series on The Wire. Going to be watching season 1, episode 9. I've got my coffee brewing in the kitchen right now. I've got kind of like a half-smoked bowl in front of me. It'll suffice for the time being. I'll give you a countdown, cue you up once I'm ready to start the episode, and we'll get down with it. If you've never listened before, I watch movies and TV shows and kind of comment on them, joke around, get distracted sometimes and off track, but usually it shakes out all right. We get her done regardless. Not famous yet, but I'm not a nobody neither. Just doing my thing. Alrighty, I'm gonna get this queued up because it's in the middle of the episode, presumably because I was watching this years ago and left off in the middle of the episode. And it sounds like my coffee just finished up. So I believe the last episode ended with Jimmy having to go pick up Bunk shit-faced at that girl's house. He was cheating on his wife, and afterwards got that post-nut syndrome, got started feeling guilty about it, and tried to burn all of his clothes so there would be no trace evidence, which is smart in some respects, but as Jimmy brought up, what the fuck were you gonna wear home? So he left a loose end there. And then Bunk tells Jimmy he's no good for people, which is kind of like a low blow. Like, God damn, man, you gotta do me like that? It appears to be kind of true, though. I don't know. Oh, and then also, they had the party at Lil Man's. One of the girls from Orlando's was there and died. They had to hide her body. D'Angelo's girlfriend was asking about it. See where that goes. Alright, get your shit queued up if you're gonna watch along, and we'll be starting shortly. So this is season 1, episode 9, game day. And I'm pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. And there we go. Put my volume way down. This is the basketball workout. We don't have a lot of context for this, your first time watching it. But we find out later that there's a basketball game between the projects, the east side and west side, every year. Basically just for bragging rights, and there's a big-ass party, and the loser has to pay for everything, essentially. So Stringer and Avon are scouting talent right now, and they're going to pay this fool to come play on their team so that they can win the project basketball game. It's kind of hilarious, because at its core, at its roots, it started out as East versus West, right? And now they're recruiting from outside the area, and they put a jersey on the dude, says he's from the West, and everybody just goes along with it. It's like what we do in professional sports. I mean, the Portland Trailblazers, I don't think any of those dudes are from Portland. Not a one. A lot of them live here now, but it's not like they chose Portland. They just got signed here, and now they kind of have to deal. And it's not, most of them probably wouldn't choose Portland if they had the choice. It's the money. Of course, you're dealing with varying talent pools. But when I was growing up, like, I played soccer. And I played in a kind of smallish town in Washington. It's like 100,000 people. So the best 16 players or 18 players out of 100,000 are probably not going to be as good as the best 18 players out of 1 million. See what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Stringer's trying to convince Avon to make a truce with Omar because it's causing too much damage.
Next year. How come you ain't son? A lot of schools looking at it. I'm listening. 10 large, so that ain't bad, right? Nah, it ain't.
10 grand to play in your fucking little basketball game? No, that ain't bad at all. As long as you don't shoot me if I play bad.
Done. Good. Give me 30 from the line and get out of here. Yo, man. Good job, baby. And I assume there's another 5 right here for making this happen? Yeah, no, ain't shit for free, right?
Amen to that. Ain't shit for free. Ain't no such thing as a free lunch. And if you walk through the garden, you better watch your back. I can't whistle for shit. I mean, sometimes I can do all right, but it's not. It's inconsistent. I just never learned it. I was just never good at it. What do you want from me? I didn't figure out how to whistle till I was like 16 years old, and I'm still not very good at it. Most of my life, I just accepted like I can't whistle, and then one day I was like, why the fuck can't I whistle? What's so different about my mouth that I can't? So I just started like fucking with my lips and my tongue, trying to get them into different shapes and seeing if I could make a noise. Eventually I came up with something. I'm not going to share the technique. I don't need everybody whistling. I don't know what I'm talking about. I watched Cult of Chucky for the first time before this and did a commentary track on it, and it was fucking bad. Oh my god, was that a regrettable decision? But I started down that path. I had to find the end, and I have now found the end. Never going down there again. Wallace is all fucked up and strung out. He hasn't been right for several episodes now. Since, fuck, what was Omar's boyfriend's name? Brian? No. Fuck. Anyway, since he got killed and his involvement in that.
16, damn, man, you supposed to be a junior by now.
He's only 16. He's lived a lot of life so far. How boring is this shit, man? You just sit around in this courtyard and drink Pepsis all damn day? You ain't got a smartphone. There's no Twitter. Best you could do is get a Walkman and run through batteries like nothing else.
You start back up at Emerson, you likely to finish up at Harvard or some shit like that. Believe me. And you?
D'Angelo doesn't know he's on drugs. You can't give somebody like that money. He's just going to run and buy drugs. He's not going to do anything smart with that shit. I see that all the time. You see somebody who's dead ass broke, right? And they get like, I don't know, a refund check from taxes or a fucking, a gift that they come across. I don't know how they get it. Say they come up with a few $100 from something. And they just run through it like it's water. And then they're right back to square zero being broke. They don't like just set it aside for a cushion. Like they think they have the right to treat themselves now that they have a little bit of breathing room. And they just get right back where they are. I see it time and time again. You had $0, now you have $300. You spend $300 in a day and you're back to $0. What the fuck? We hit the lottery. We got $300.
I'm tired of not having a phone up in this joint. Be right back. Yeah. Have a nice hike. Yeah.
Is it getting into summertime now? In the summertime when the weather's hot.
Hello, you make order?
What the? Ketchup and noodles? The fuck? Nobody wants ketchup and noodles.
That was my Korean counterman. Sounded Chinese. You can fucking tell the difference.
Oh, god damn it.
Brave new world for you boys.
Freeman's like the elder statesman that you're afraid to tell no. Like, dude, you're my boss. Shove this shit up your ass. So you just do it because you don't want to argue. You don't want his opinion of you to be lower.
Call above Preston. Want a good payphone that the pit boys are not using.
Payphones, man. You don't see those around much anymore either, do you? Everybody's got a cell phone. It's called market saturation. Stringer addresses that later on in this series. It might even be this season, but he's talking about how he sees everybody with a cell phone. In fact, he sees some people with two. So how is anybody supposed to sell any more of those fucking things? It's called market saturation. But what he didn't see coming was smartphones and the technology advancing so quickly that shit would be obsolete within a year or two and you would have to upgrade. Because back then, if you had a cell phone, they basically all did the same shit. You only needed one. There was no reason to upgrade unless your shit broke. And they didn't. They were just bricks. So what I mean by they were just bricks is they rarely broke. Like, you could do almost anything to those and they wouldn't break. The batteries lasted forever because the screen wasn't anything. You weren't doing nothing on it. You basically just called people, maybe texted. Maybe. That guy has some short arms. His wrists are at his waist.
It's the one day, man. Wasn't even that. Stood up, though. Why you down at the testing line? You ain't tasting.
Trying to get my little nephew off the corner. His mama sent him up to Cumberland, you know. Try to keep him clean at my grandma's. He ain't anywhere near his bottom.
I like this character, Waylon. He seems authentic. He seems like he's really lived this.
Most people don't get tired till they're 35, 40. How old are you?
Young at heart.
Well, man.
He's even got that kind of weird bobblehead nod thing, like addicts have. All he's missing is the itch. Weebay's fucked up because Omar shot him. That's another thing that happened last episode.
Hell with the wire. Excuse me? Gotcha, McNulty. You're too easy.
So I don't know if they heard that on the wire or if they're just observing it, but Weebay's rolling out of the projects with a bag full of money. Excuse me. Now they're getting into a lot of the shit that makes The Wire different from other shows. The authenticity and the detail. Chasing down the drugs, chasing down the money, the steps of the investigation, how it all fits together. How they try to identify assets that they can seize, etc. Look for front companies, look for shareholders, look for names on the documents, look for the filing agents, look for the attorneys, look for multiple businesses under similar names. That weird projector shit that he's using to look at these sheets of paper. You would just use a computer screen now.
You won't keep your head in this assessment book. Look up any properties that you can connect to Barksdale. How do you know it connects to Barksdale, right?
You're going to use the information Prez gives you.
Corporate charter documents. Whatever companies he links to Barksdale or people connected to Barksdale. You look for those companies in the city land records.
Once they start chasing down political contributions is when they got a problem.
See if there's anything owned by the Indian Enterprises or any other company that Prince finds in corporate charter or anything similar.
There's so many endearing characters in this show. Like, so many. That some of the ones that are solid kind of get overlooked because there's so many great ones. Like Sidnor. Sidnor's a great character, but he doesn't really shine amongst all the other really, like, just spectacular characters.
In this country, somebody's name has got to be on a piece of paper.
Yep.
A girlfriend, a grandmother.
In this country, somebody's name is on a piece of paper.
You follow drugs, you get drug addicts and drug dealers. But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the fuck it's going to take you.
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
Shit runs down a lot cleaner channels than you would suspect.
Yeah, let me get the
That money gets diverted quickly into some very legitimate, or at least seemingly legitimate, ventures. Politics, real estate, you know, all that.
I'll take over.
It's gonna he's gonna get like a fucking photo album, giant book of shit.
Right hand, reach the window and open the door. Come on, hurry up, man. Step out of the car. Drop the cane. Toss the cane. Come around to the back.
So they're gonna bust them out now and find their drug money in the car.
Sir, is there anything in the vehicle we should know about? Nope. No guns.
Deny. They're gonna lose the money, but there's not they didn't commit a crime. There's no charge.
Shit.
Because it just deny. You have the right to remain silent.
This money right here.
Oh, this is when they get the stacks of money.
What money? Damn, because this one big cash.
It's gonna come up later.
Where you guys going with all this?
Like the man said, it ain't ours.
It ain't yours, huh? So you don't mind if we just take it off your hands?
Do what you feel. You pretended to take money about this truck. I didn't even know it was there.
See, just pretend it's not yours. Oh, I don't know how I got there. It's not mine. We're cool, right? We're cool. All right.
Fuck 40 out of you when it was there.
Take these cuffs off and let me roll out.
Y'all ain't got no charge, right?
This has really got to be hurting them financially. At some point, right? They keep losing. Omar's stealing their shit. The cops are taking their money.
You want it back, you can explain it to the state's attorney where you got it.
The cops are taking their shit too. They hit the re-up. Busted their runner.
Y'all enjoy your day now, yeah?
Man, I've never been in handcuffs, but getting them off must be the most relieving feeling in the fucking world. Other than when you got one of those stomach aches, and you know that it's gonna be a horrific fart, but it just won't get there. It's just bubbling and working its way up, and you can't sit right. It starts getting in your back. You're leaning on the side. You don't know what the fuck to do. You're laying down on the floor. You got your hands above your head. You got your feet up in the air. And you know it's just got to pass. And then that fart finally comes out, and you're like, oh, God. It's not a good, like, there's no feeling. It's the absence of the negative feeling is almost better than a good feeling. Or the relief from it, I should say. Bubbles is using a fish hook to steal this guy's stash. Oh, shit. What an idea. Just a floating bag. Motherfucker! Bad news is he gets it home and finds out it's bunk. Ooh! And these poor guys get their asses beat just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You get that Kangol hat, Bubbles. You didn't sell that yet?
Oh, yeah. You should have seen the one that got away.
Yeah, so they're gonna shoot this shit up and they don't feel anything at all. It's baking soda. At least you didn't pay for it. But that was a lot of effort for nothing.
On the game, Buff.
Yeah.
Like if you were stalking a deer, you come over the hill, pull your bow back, perfect heart shot, bleeds out immediately. You run over there, cut it open, and it's full of tofu. You're like, what the fuck? This is fake meat. This isn't what I wanted.
No bub.
This ain't shit.
This ain't shit.
Nah, neither.
It's fucking arm in hand.
It's time to go out and chase it again. Welcome to this life. You just gonna do this shit every day? Call it a... How long can you sustain that? It just looks like it's fucking horrible. This, like every day, first thing in the morning is I gotta get high. And then once they get high, they don't even do anything. It wears off, they gotta get high again. There's never any, like, action. There's never any, like, get high then do something or use it as a way to tap. Like, there's just nothing. It's just find a way to get high, get high. Find a way to get high, get high. Like a machine that consumes drugs more than a human. So they don't know it yet. But that bag busted open in the back of the car and they lost a couple bundles of cash. And later, Daniels is going to hear it over the wire and do the math and realize that they're missing something and accuse them of theft. But they're just incompetent at this point. Not thorough enough. Remember the first episode when they do that bust and Kima's like, 2 guns, remember? They're just not thorough. Clearly, they didn't count how many bundles they had before they put them in the car. Otherwise, they would know right now that they're short.
And we're finding a lot of stuff on the west side of downtown that might be his, over by that Howard Street corridor.
What kind of property?
Low rent commercial.
Herc was proposing to Carver that they steal money. But Carver brought up the wire. Said, what if they hear on the wire later that it was X amount of dollars and we're missing some? Which is actually what's going to end up happening. But by mistake, due to incompetence, like I said, just not being thorough.
Shuts us down, tells us to go home. You want the money side of this case. It's now or never, Lieutenant.
You never get the chance to do this again.
Hey, I'm working here.
Maybe 20 or 30.
Dollars for donuts.
Look at that.
What are you guys saying? What money?
The only hassle is they used to sit here and count this shit. Do the ECU submission.
And it's all limp dick.
Yep.
You all got the pit boys on a fresh payphone, right?
Yeah,
What do you guys think of the playoffs? Who you got?
Good. We're gonna need an additional
Obviously, Blazers, Nuggets kicks off tomorrow. I'm biased. I'm going to pick the Blazers in 7. The 76ers and Raptors. It doesn't look good for the Sixers. I'm going with Raptors in 5. The Celtics and the Bucks. The Celtics kind of mopped the floor with them in game 1 today. It wasn't a good look. I'm gonna go with the Celtics in 6, and the Warriors and Rockets. I didn't get a chance to see that today. I hear the officiating was a major factor, and the Warriors held suit, winning at home by 4. I think that's an interesting series because it went 7 last year. I don't know that the Rockets have the cohesion and the confidence that they had in themselves at this point last year. Maybe I'm interpreting that incorrectly. But the Warriors also seem to be just not quite as sharp as normal. That's an interesting series to me. But I just think it's the Warriors are the Warriors. And getting that 1-0 lead, even though it was a home game, I think that was big for the Warriors. And I think they're probably going to handle this easier than people think they are. Playoff officiating seems to be less stringent. They seem to be letting things go a little bit more. And that doesn't favor Houston, in my opinion. They get a lot of ticky-tack fouls. They rely on that shit. Harden gets to the line a lot. I don't think they're going to get that benefit in the playoffs. It doesn't seem to be the way things are going. And I mean, everybody's playing defense harder. They're closing out harder. They're contesting every shot. They're really trying to go for steals. You know, every possession counts. It's not like the regular season, and it's more sustainable because games are more spread out, etc. So I think I'm gonna go with the Warriors in 6 in that one. So extrapolating, that would be then the Blazers and Warriors in the conference finals, and the Celtics and Raptors. And then I would probably go Raptors and Warriors. I know I want the Blazers to win, but beating the Warriors is a tall task, especially without Nurkic. I'm getting tired of the Warriors winning. I mean, you kind of have to respect it and appreciate it because it's hard to put runs like that together. But fuck, it's tired. Especially 4 years in a row of the Cavaliers and the Warriors in the finals. Omar's getting to the point where he doesn't even actually have to rob them. He just has to show up prepared to rob them. And they just give him the shit because they're afraid. He carries it almost all on reputation. They just drop the shit outside for him. Why are you going to put half your cigarette out, though, like that? Is there no cops around? He's just walking around with a shotgun under his jacket like it's just casual. It's what I wear to work. True cop way. If you ever noticed, cops won't directly infringe upon your rights or force you to do things, but they'll present them to you in a way like you don't have a choice, and you get all nervous because they're an authority figure and think that maybe you're in a situation that they could get you in trouble. So you just go along with it instead of being like, wait, what? Do I have to? No, I'm good. They just come up and say, come with us, and you go, okay. Poot just found out that Wallace is getting high. He saw him copping. That's terrible. That's terrible. Kenny, you guys.
Maybe the whole thing is over. No one bothered to tell us. Maybe we won.
Oh, maybe we won. Like it's a war. The drug dealers came out and said, we surrender, it's over.
I like these.
Yeah. This is the basketball games going on. That's why nobody's there. I'm really surprised they've been cops in this town for this many years and don't know about this basketball game. This is the beginning of something here. They end up becoming a couple. They end up married. And he's just slow walking her. He's just walk down the hill and fuck them all. No, walk down the hill and fuck her.
That seems kind of sad.
He's got this kind of distinguished, fatherly, mature, on top of his shit feel to him. It's a good vibe. It's a good look. This is Bubbles' first attempt to get clean during the show. He's gonna go visit his sister, who he has apparently fucked over several times in the past. It's entirely believable. That's what junkies do. They abuse all their relationships because they don't love anything but that drug. At least that's the number one priority. They may love you, but if it comes to you or the drug, it's the drug.
You know, I ain't got no other place to go, maybe.
Sometimes those are scary questions to ask.
That's wrong, right? That ain't right, right? Stop.
He means it this time, and she doesn't know that, though. You have no way of knowing. She's probably been told this 75 times before. Is this where she gives him the key to the basement?
Back door only. There's an old sofa in the basement, and I'll throw you down some blankets. You try to come up those stairs, and I'm gonna call the police on you. I swear I will.
That's some heavy trauma. She doesn't trust him at all. But she gave him a key to the back door.
That's fucking Baltimore.
He used to sleep in the basement. That's something. It's a place he can go to get away from that world, not be around all the same people, same habits, get his mind clear, just fucking detox if he really wanted to. He could just lay down there and go through it. It'd be hard, and the willpower is probably not there to just sit and take it when there's nothing restraining him or keeping him there. And here we are at the basketball game. Is this the first time we get introduced to Prop Joe? I think it is. Projects have a ball team? So I believe Avon and them are on the west side, and Prop Joe runs the east side. He's like the Avon of the east side. Very different character traits, very different people, very different looking, everything like that. But as far as authority-wise or comparability, position to position, or status, it's Avon and Prop Joe are about equals.
Some of the girls in there,
You got a clipboard, you can't even read a playbook.
You know, Mr. This is a weird thing when we have somebody to come on downtown with us.
The West thinks that they got a trick up their sleeve
Talk about
by hiring this ringer to come in from college or wherever the fuck and ball, but the East has got the same thing in mind.
They dropped about a dozen bodies over last year, and they were running the drugs in every housing project west of the King.
Every single
I don't know anything about that. I just worked the tips.
But now you do know, right? Because we're telling you.
You know a girl named Keisha Michaels?
What a position to be in for her. Her heart's got to be racing 1,000,000 miles an hour.
All right, I guess.
Oh, she's gonna find out about her friend getting killed right here. They rolled her up in a rug and threw her in a dumpster.
So what do you think?
I think she's a sweetheart. I think we push her hard to the top. Watch how it goes.
I want to do better.
Do better than that. What are you gonna do? It's better than that. Gonna show her the body. Oh, they show her the body. They take her down and show her the dead body. That's fucked up. Do you imagine having this much invested in a basketball game of one side of the town versus the other side of the town? The projects? Actually, I can totally imagine it. Makes sense to me. Probably real. There might be one in Portland, except there are no projects on the west side. Maybe you do northeast versus southeast or something like that, but you can't do east-west. There's not even the downtown, the nice waterfront, the big buildings, all the pretty shit that everybody pictures when they think of Portland. That's the west side. It's a very small portion of Portland. Most of Portland is on the east side, where it's flat. The roads are all full of potholes. There's a strip club, whorehouse, liquor store on every corner, and it's not pretty for the most part. Farther you get away from the river on the east side, the worse it gets, until you get to like Troutdale, and then you're good again. So when it comes to projects, they're all on the east side. And there's not a lot of struggling young basketball players on the west side. It's mostly like office buildings and fucking hotels and businesses, malls. Carver's from the east side. They're showing, I can't remember the girl's name. D'Angelo's girlfriend, soon to be Freeman's girlfriend. But they're showing her friend's dead body. It's not much going to resonate more than that. Ugh. 3 different dudes fucked her and came at her. In her mouth, her vag, and her ass. And then they threw her in a dumpster. If you remember that party scene, she was damn near passed out. Said she was going to throw up when Weebay pushed her into the bedroom.
That's how they do. They use people, and when they throw them away, they find a way to say it ain't on them. Lying motherfucker. He said they took her to a hospital.
So she's done with D'Angelo now. It's over. She knows she can't trust him. He lied to her face, and she views him as a murderer now. She already knew he was a drug dealer, but now he's a straight up murderer of her friend, somebody that in her opinion didn't deserve it and probably didn't. And they didn't do right by her. They treated her like a whore and dumped her in a dumpster. Like yesterday's trash, just like, oh, on to the next one. Oh, yeah. This is the first time they know for a fact that Avon is in public and that they've never seen him before. They got to try to get eyes on him. So they all head down to the basketball game to try to scope Avon out. Sometimes we make cases out of it. Santangelo's sitting over there with a guilty-ass conscience. Regulators! Mount up. It was a cool black night. Such a cool black night. Martin Lawrence. Halftime? Where are the cheerleaders? I think it was in OKC the other day. I think it was game 3, the game they won. I knew that they just had a magic horseshoe up their ass that day. And they were shooting lights out. They couldn't miss a fucking shot. And little things like, you know, those half-court shot for a car or whatever contests they do in the arena? They did a half-court shot for 10 grand. And 2 different people made it during the same game. So that game 3 of Portland against Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City, 2 Oklahoma City fans sunk half-court shots for 10 grand. And I was like, the cards are just in Oklahoma's favor today. There's just magic in that building for them tonight. This just isn't going to go our way. But then they got to showboating and talking shit and getting a little big for their britches, and they got what was coming to them. And now they get to have a nice summer. It was good. It was poetic justice, if I've ever seen it. Real-life organic drama. I saw on Twitter somebody said that series was pay-per-view worthy, and they were 100% accurate. There ain't no weed in here. I done smoked up all the weed. Found a whole bushel of this shit. Get your shit fucked up. $12 a gram. You can go down to the mall where they've charged $10 a gram. It's not even weed half the time. This guy's out here making an and one mixtape. You could still say midget then.
Hey. That's it. We're on the stash. We are?
Here we get another example of McNulty bending the rules. He's gonna write that somebody witnessed Weebay on the phone there, but nobody saw shit.
Cinder wasn't on the roof.
Yes, he was.
No, he's not. He's with Daniels. No, he isn't.
And Presbeluski is a bit of a bitch, and he's not gonna do anything. He doesn't feel like he has the status in this team to be able to make waves like that. He's low man on the totem pole. He fucked off his original post. He called in a fake shootout and shot up his own car. He got sent to casualty section. He shot the wall with his gun his first day there. He cold-cocked the kid with his pistol and made him blind in one eye. Avon's gonna punk this fucking ref right here. He looks kind of like Kevin Durant, doesn't he? You talk about a mulligan? We don't do fucking mulligans in basketball.
You can't do that. Fuck, believe this shit. Nigga, come on, doing it again.
Look, I don't want any trouble, Cap. Ain't gonna be no trouble over no ball.
Man, you supposed to be the ref, right? Why don't you stand up for your fucking self? You pussy. You can't just let any old motherfucking nigga get in your face.
Yeah, but you're like tied for the most powerful person at this fucking park right now.
Turn around and walk the fuck away.
Somehow I ended up being a referee of the project basketball game. So our
We cool?
positions of authority are probably very different in life.
Come on up here to the park Saturday at noon. Of course, you come on the west side again, baby. Without a ball, you light your ass up.
It's good that they can be so cordial for at least an afternoon.
You know him?
Or two, actually, because they got the party. Surprised no shit breaks out at the party. You get dudes drinking, they're on opposite teams. You know, start feeling frisky.
He seemed like he was.
Just letting her manhandle your furniture like that.
But not just yet. We need your help.
Oh,
We came to you.
they want her to wear a wire. Talk about anxiety. Fuck me.
Up a little bit. She's not gonna be the last either.
Plus, she can't see shit without her glasses. They don't find that out till later.
You like that one? Why don't you keep it?
It's only worth like $1,000. I don't have any idea how much that shit's worth, but they claim it's worth a lot. See how he's getting in good with her, building this relationship? He's gonna be your daddy. More ways than one. Avon's driving himself around in that big ass excursion. That seems a little odd to me. Seems like somebody would be driving him. Somebody's always driving Stringer. So they've identified him. They figured out that it was him in the visor. I think Sidnor made the ID. And they're just trying to follow him and see what comes of it. I don't know when, but he realizes he's being tailed. And he starts fucking with them in all these streets. I don't know how he knows the streets better than them, but he manages to get them all twisted around and lose them. Actually, he drives by Daniels and does the Dikembe Mutombo.
Copy that. He's just sitting there.
He is just sitting there. Look at that Chevy Cavalier. Starting to get rounded and look beautiful. See, that's the new generation. Jimmy has the older generation. That super 80s kind of square, almost like a fox body Mustang look. Those excursions. It's like driving a school bus. Those have third row seating. Imagine they have to, as big as they are. Why wouldn't you? It's a Ford Suburban. It's an XLT. We needed a bigger excursion. Regular one wasn't enough. Looks like he's got stock ass wheels on that. Looks pretty stock, actually, the whole thing. Maybe lift it a little. They just run into each other at all four corners. They don't know where he went.
That he didn't make it to Chase. 1171, what's your status?
He couldn't have gone past us. 1171, nothing on this side.
Newland Chinese food.
Must have wet the ground.
Where? He's got some fucking paint spray. He got his stars to disappear. Or he's doing the park and hide until the stars go away move. He didn't go to the pay and spray. Here comes the Dikembe Mutombo. Not in my house. He's got some big ass hands. Wonder if he's actually good at basketball. Seems like he would be. He's got the perfect build for it. He's like a small Kevin Durant. Maybe more like a Lou Williams.
There was no one on the roof. Sidney was off with Daniels chasing Avon in the street.
We had a good day, too. Keeper turned one of the dancers over at Avon's club. And was fucking D'Angelo.
He's losing his mind down here trying to stay sober. Ah, he's picking at his mustache hairs. God damn it. That looks like it hurts. That would sting. That skin's sensitive. Like trying to pop a zit around your eyeball. Oh, shit. Ugh. Pardonnez-moi.
This guy's good. We threw everything we had in. You know what they say, stupid criminals make stupid cops.
Yep.
I'm proud to be chasing this guy.
We got 4 front companies, so...
It's an interesting take on it, but accurate.
A club, an apartment building, a funeral home, and a whole lot of real estate on the west side of downtown by that Howard Street corridor. Shop fronts and warehouses.
Box deals anymore?
Fronts mostly. Relatives,
I like that quote from McNulty. Stupid cop or stupid criminals make stupid cops.
It's a money factory. We brought WeBay coming up the other day with 22,000. And the boys
See,
talking on the
Daniel,
saying that it wasn't that much.
Daniel's just heard the 22,000,
And that's just from one morning.
and he knows that they only turned in like 17.
Avenue corners, you're probably up near 30.
That being Carver and Herc.
For the evening, 60,000. A day.
That's 25 million a year conservatively.
Jesus,
You take out 20% for running expenses and spillage, and you are still clearing $1 million a month.
So where's it all
clearing $1 million a month.
There's no flash. No house, no car in his name, no jewelry, no clothes,
That is living good in the neighborhood.
and political contributions.
Literally, living good in the neighborhood. I wonder where he lives.
Month alone, all from his
Does he just
companies
like
or their listed offices.
move like a hermit crab from girl's place to girl's place? Where's his main spot?
Likes of Damian Price, aide to a state senator, driving out $20,000 in cash from the projects whenever he feels it. Now I know you don't want to hear this, Lieutenant, but the money is real and it's everywhere.
God damn, Freeman's good.
And the drugs, it's the money that
I wonder what other like movies or TV shows he's been in. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but he's a good actor. Her little titties are just jiggling around. My God.
If you want to go, then go. But you give me a goddamn reason.
What do I look like to you?
What do I look like to you?
What? You fine. You purty. What?
You look like a girl, a woman, a beautiful woman. You fine. What?
I don't look like trash to you.
Baby, this ain't about what you do.
I don't look like something you could roll up in a rug and throw in the trash.
Shit just got real. Mic drop. She found out. You stuck. You can't say shit. How you gonna be mad at her? She just called you out on your stuff and you're mad at her?
You paged us. You almost home. Sit.
Come to Jesus meeting.
Hey, check my calendar again, yo. How bad? Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Leon, you got hit by 22. 22? That's all. Alright.
They lost $22,000 and they said that's all? Fuck. If I lost $22,000, I might drive my car into a wall.
6, and another one labeled P for Pit. Where's 1 and 4? It's on the wire. We took them for 22. You shitheads turned in 15.
They turned in 15. 7 missing.
You have till roll call tomorrow to crawl back to whatever ruck you hit it under. It comes back and it goes to ECU. This doesn't happen. Not with me. Not with my unit.
You go, Daniels. Even though you were privy to plenty of that behavior in your younger days. And you're constantly worried it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Deal and not tell you about it.
That's a true friend. If you're going to steal, you got to tell your best friend and partner. Now, Omar's gone over to the east side, and he's going to sell Prop Joe Avon's shit.
This some of Avon shit. You got Avon Barksdale chasing your ass all around town and you still
Oh, Omar's so cold.
what I want with that?
Oh, indeed.
How much you asking?
Oh, free.
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 Saying I got a little proposition for you.
He likes propositions.
Proposition is you get 4 G packs for free. Give me some better idea on how I can reach Avon.
How to contact him?
You guys had a game, right? How you get a hold of him to parlay?
We talk now and then.
I paid his ass.
Okay. Okay.
He's gonna give it. I wonder how much that bag of shit's worth.
What they do with it? I call for one of his people.
What we may use? 07?
07.
So he traded him all those drugs
Get off your hands and
for Avon's pager number and Weebase
Man,
pager
Avon goes
code.
down, it'll probably be open market again, right?
let me understand. Avon is 100 large to me on a bet. Then you bring me some of this shit.
A lot of chess moves going on.
Put your predatory self on his ass.
And Avon is
Not his day.
the least strategic of all the players. Between Omar, Prop Joe, Stringer, Avon. Avon is a little bit too gangster. Too connected to the streets. Maybe doesn't use his head quite enough. Just a gangsta, I suppose. They're tearing this fucking car apart looking for this money. And he found it. There's that sense of relief again. That fucking fart. He just got the fart out, and now he just can't believe how great he feels to be stagnant.
Well, remember when the bag broke?
I don't remember exactly when, but I remember opening the trunk and finding out that it broke.
You?
Yeah. He's not going to believe you.
Sorry.
Savino late, man. I'm ready to make this money run. Get the fuck out.
So, Omar is going to put that pager number and the code handle to use right now.
Let me get onions on that, man. Organizing it right, you got my 50s with my 50s, my 20s, my 100s with my 100s. All right, ladies, good night.
I'll see y'all tomorrow on time here.
Usually don't see Avon down in the bar area like this, but I guess they're closing down, so it makes sense. See, there go Omar right there. He just scoped that Weebay walked out, so he's gonna page Avon with Weebay's number, knowing that they're separated, and Avon's gonna walk out and use that payphone that right there that he's calling from. It's a beautiful setup. A lot of time to think.
We been sending me an emergency call.
So what was Avon's plan there? Just to not do anything, just look outside and go back?
Right? Yeah.
911 call.
Why don't you bring a bodyguard with you out to the payphone?
Rules, right?
Oh, he's not using the one he's calling from. He goes and uses that one. But I think Weebay pulls up while he's in the middle of the call.
Fuck.
It's getting tense right here. Remember, come at the king, best not miss? Well, here goes coming at the king. He gets caught in the middle of the act. Oh. At that split second, Avon realized he'd been set up. Weebay wasn't trying to get hold of him at all, and he dove out of the way. That was crazy. Now Weebay's there to back him up, and Omar got clipped. He's winged. Don't announce my name so fucking loud, dude. I don't want everybody in the neighborhood knowing who's out here. Now, they're hip to your game. You're definitely outnumbered, and you've been shot in the shoulder. You should probably get the fuck out. And that's how this episode ends. That's a solid way to end it, I think, because it's one of those cliffhangers where you're like, fuck, I gotta see what happens next. Omar got shot. He came at the king and he missed, which is one of his rules you can't do. Kind of made the cardinal sin there. What's gonna happen with Wallace? He's strung out. He's trying to get out of the game, but he's not really getting his shit together. He's just doing heroin all day. Bubbles is trying to get sober. And then, of course, what kind of advances will they make on the case? They got that girl to turn. She just broke up with D'Angelo. They're going to have her wear a wire in the future. And, of course, Avon is going to be on his heels because he's getting... The police are coming at him. Omar's coming at him. But he's also going to go full throttle on the aggression towards Omar and try to take care of this. I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast, sticking through this episode of The Wire. Please like, comment, share with your friends, subscribe, most importantly. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.